That's Tony Hancock in. Hancock's half-hour.
Have you been to church recently, Sid? You know, one of those old buildings with a funny pointy spire on them and coloured windows. I know what a church is, Hancock. I'm a regular churchgoer. If you must know, last time I went was a christening. How very nice for you. Whose christening was it? Anyone I know? Yeah, mine. I was 6 months old. Why are you asking? Well, the reason is, Sid, we've got a vicar up next. The police want us to question him about a drug-related offence. They can't be bothered to investigate themselves. So mind your manners and no swearing. What? Someone tried to drug a vicar? That's a serious offence. Trying to steal the lead off the roof, were they? Bit over-dramatic, Sid. It's a singer by the name of OZZY Osbourne. He claims the vicar tried to give him a cake laced with drugs. Who's OZZY Osbourne? Never heard of him. Hoped you were going to tell me, Sid. I think he's an old 70s rocker, not my sort of stuff. All long hair and dark glasses, brain damage, you know the sort. He's not coming, but the vicar will be along any minute. Oh, jolly good. I'll make a pot of tea and some cucumber sandwiches then.
Good afternoon. Is this Hancock Zeros? Yes, I'd love a cup of tea, 2 lumps if that's alright, and melt in first. You don't mind if I drink out of the saucer though. It's one of my weaknesses. I like to blow on it, but I stick my little pinky up while I'm doing it.
How did you know we were going to make you tea, Vicar?
Well, people always do. I sometimes drink so much tea, I have to cross my legs, and I usually end up peeing on the floor, but don't worry, I always clean up afterwards. I'm house trained.
Right, let's get down to brass tacks. You know why you're here, don't you, Reverend Ezekiel Jeremiah Zebediah?
No, not really. I think there's been a misunderstanding, don't you? I haven't done anything. I'm a gentleman of the cloth. I'm a pillar of the community. It's that Osbourne you want to jail. Always playing loud music to all hours. It's putting me right off the communion wine, I can tell you.
That's all very well, Reverend, but it clearly says in the report by the police that you gave a Mr. Osbourne a cake which was 70% drugs. That's not the sort of behaviour we usually associate with a vicar.
Oh, you don't believe Mr. Osbourne, do you? He's a drug-crazed rocker. And the only thing that ever passes my lips is the odd schooner of sherry, and only at Christmas. And I don't steal money from the correction plate. It's a vicious rumour.
So how did you get to know Mr. Osbourne? He's not a typical friend of yours, is he? You're like chalk and cheese, if you don't mind me saying. Rocker and a vicar.
Oh no! I used to play in his band till he sacked me. The other week I responded to an urgent call from his wife Sharon, who was tied to the altar in his front bedroom, and she pleaded with me for help.
Very ugly, very ugly. Sounds very nasty. Did you manage to stop him in time, Reverend?
I did, but only just in time. The knife was moving across her throat. It was only a brief psychotic episode, apparently. It happens to him all the time. He was dressed as Father Christmas, very seasonal, and she was dressed as an elf.
Now, let's get this straight. You were very angry at Mr. Osbourne because he sacked you. And perhaps a bit scared, Reverend. So you tried to kill him.
No, I just said a quick prayer and belted him over the head with the altar cross in order to get him to desist.
Surely as a man of the cloth, you don't advocate the use of violence, Ezekiel. Especially as it's coming up to Christmas.
I was acting in self-defence, Inspector Hancock. He was trying to hit me with a candlestick in the library. I don't believe in all that Holy Joe stuff. I give as good as I get, that's what I say. Don't forget Leviticus line 13. Jesus threw out the moneylenders. Anyway, the man's a monster.
Why didn't you report OZZY Osbourne for assault?
I did, but he didn't do any good. The police blame me for the violence. Me, a man of God. I ask you. I let fly with a stream of invectives at them. Turn the air blue, I did. Well, it was their own fault. I'm usually very flaccid.
You mean placid?
No, flaccid. You know, limp, drooping. I needed to pick me up, not a telling off.
This is all very well. However, the police are particularly interested in the drugs. Where did you get them from, Vicar?
What drugs? Nobody said anything about drugs. Did I mention drugs? How dare you? And all across, that's all. And I was stone cold sober, apart from a couple of large brandies.
It's our job to investigate the facts, Ezekiel. Mr. Osborne said you gave him a cake full of drugs. It's quite explicit.
You should be so lucky. The man is a walking pharmacy. You couldn't get any more drugs in him if you tried with a stirrup pump. He rattles when he walks.
This makes me a bit uneasy. You seem to know an awful lot about Ozzy's drug habits.
Well, Inspector Hancock, it's my job to save souls. So where a soul is in deep distress, it's my business to know and heal the wounds with some soothing words.
You deny baking him a cake.
Do I look like one of those contestants on Bake Off? I loathe the programme, loathe it I do. I don't eat cakes, they're fattening. I have to watch my weight. Don't want to look like you, Inspector Hancock, do I? Plump. You won't get through the proverbial eye of a needle, will you? No more than that bloody camel. Oh, but you do understand. Oh, you don't look like a camel.
So what you're trying to say is Mr. Osborne was telling a lie.
Of course I do. What's the Pope Presbyterian? I think his wife may have baked him a cake, however, but I didn't have anything to do with it myself.
Now that makes a lot more sense. So it was Sharon Osborne, not you, who gave Mr. Osborne the drug cake that nearly killed him.
Well, I'm not denying they were my drugs.
So that's an admission of guilt, Reverend Zebediah. This case is going to have to go to court. It will be 2 weeks on Saturday.
Oh, woe is me, the shame of it. What will my parishioners think? They worship me. They see me as some kind of saint, poor fools. Order in court. Who we got next? Oh, it's nothing too complicated. I don't want anything long that's going to spoil Christmas. A quick in and out, that's what I want.
It's the Reverend Ezekiel Jeremiah Zebediah, Your Honour.
No, good. We don't get very many vicars in here. It'll be quick and easy. Mind you, they are all perverts, aren't they, Usher? Vicars in ladies' knickers, that's what they usually say. It's another washing line job, isn't it?
I don't think so, my lord. Thank God, Sid, we haven't got that Judge see-through. Perhaps we'll get a result this time. And I'm looking forward to meeting Ozzy. I might ask for his autograph. They make 50 knicker on eBay. Wait a minute. Doesn't the judge look a lot like the Reverend Zebediah?
Be upstanding. Stand erect. That's it. Shoulders back. Will the accused now enter the dock? How do you plead? No, it's all right. You don't have to kneel. And that's a Bible over there, by the way. Not guilty, Your Honour. I am just a hard-working vicar from Surrey who has never strayed from the path of righteousness. Amen. Well, that's not what I've been told. You've been at the wacky macky, or so I've been led to believe. Having a few puffs in the vestry in your cassock, were you? It's purely medicinal, Your Honour, for my condition. I'm a sufferer for my sins. It's God's way of punishing me, I suppose. For the evil of my ways. Well, Inspector Hancock, this poor man has a condition. Why have you brought him here? Hasn't he been punished enough? Look at him, a flaming wreck of a man.
I was not informed about a condition, my lord. No one told me anything about it. What condition are we talking about? Well, he looks out of condition. I can see that.
What condition are we talking about? Well used, I would say, and 10,000 miles on the clock. Well, Reverend, sorry to pry. Would you kindly let the court know a little about this condition? What exactly is it? It's not rude, is it? If it is, you can whisper it in my ear. It's piles. What was that? Piles or trials? Speak up. If it's trials, yes, of course it is. This is a trial, you bloody fool. We have them every day. They're common in here. Everyone's got them. I said piles, not trials. No need to shout. I left me hearing aid at home, that's all.
I just say a word, Your Honour. From my limited understanding of the world of drugs, cannabis isn't a treatment for piles. Not where I come from.
I am well acquainted with the field of medical cannabis, Inspector Hancock. They're in here all the time, claiming they've got this, that and the other, and they need cannabis, or they'll die. Let them, I say, let them! Why don't you ever look on page 40 of the Dope's Guide to Medical Cannabis, Your Honour?
Yes, it says on page 40 that medical cannabis is noted in the treatment of haemorrhoids, Your Honour.
Haemorrhoids now, is it? Why didn't you say so, Vicar? There wouldn't have been any confusion. So you put your haemorrhoids in a cake and gave it to Mr. Osborne, did you? Not exactly. I put the cannabis, which is a treatment for haemorrhoids, about my person, but I think Mrs. Osborne went through my surplus and removed it before sticking it in a fairy cake and giving it to Mr. Osborne. Right, where is Mr. Osborne?
Oh, Mr. Osborne.
You there. Are you Mr. John Michael Osborne?
Yes, but you can call me Ozzy.
As much as I am disinclined to call you Ozzy, I will just as long as we can get on with it. And what exactly do you do, Mr. Osborne?
I used to be in a rock band called Black Sabbath.
No, never heard of them. Now, if you'd said the Beatles, I would immediately have released you before giving you a spin. So what happened the night you claimed the vicar tried to poison you with cannabis?
I don't know, I was so stoned because of the effects of the cake, you know. I couldn't stand up.
So, do you normally have trouble standing up, Mr. Osborne?
Yes, but it was particularly bad that night.
Now, Reverend Zebediah says your wife put a hand inside his surplus.
Well, if she did, I'm divorcing her. I'm not having her playing away with the vicar.
You have to explain things carefully to Ozzy. He's a couple of tracks short of an album. Up top, you know.
I'm sure Mr. Osborne is actually in complete possession of all his faculties and is an admirable, upstanding member of the community, Inspector Hancock.
Yes, of course, Your Honour. So we're all on the same page then. The vicar done it in the lounge. It's a bit like Cluedo, this, isn't it?
Right, Mr. Osborne, did you see Reverend Zebediah put the cannabis in the cake before he gave it to you?
Oh, not exactly. Well, all I remember is him forcing the cake down my throat while singing Oh Little Town of Bethlehem.
Therefore, in the absence of an independent witness, Mr. Osborne, we must assume it was the Reverend, not your wife, Sharon, who put the cannabis in the cake.
She's a lousy cook, Your Honour. I don't think she knows how to bake a flaming cake.
Therefore, I charge Reverend Zebediah with the attempted murder by the administration of noxious substances on one John Michael Osborne, he of that little-known band Black Sabbath.
Here, good decision. But I hope you don't mind me asking, Your Honour, could I have your name for the court papers? We need to claim our fees and expenses.
It's Douglas Arthur Osborne, if you must know.
Oh, well, that's the same as the plaintiff, Your Honour.
What of it?
Don't tell anyone, but it turns out the judge is a cousin of Ozzy Osbourne, would you believe it? Poor old Ozzy, didn't even recognise him. He's so far gone, poor sod. Anyway, that's another £5,000 in the bank account of Hancock's Heroes and another success for the team.